Greetings, fellow humans. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it, huh? So yes, as you can see by this getup and the wonderful illumination, I have a new toy. And I will try to make a couple things a bit more professional. As if I was super professional before and I'm gonna be now. Anyways, this mug, let's catch up. There's a couple of things to catch up on. First off, how you doing? How you been? It's been a hot minute. Second off, I'm gonna start from the get-go. This Sunday, September 5th at 12 noon Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific time, and if you need me to calculate anything else, leave the comment below what your time is and I'll try and get the time when it's gonna be. But September 5th, it's gonna be the first all Puerto Rican panel on Go Indie Now. I am very excited for this. I know everyone on the panel. I'm a big proponent of indie authors. I'm a big proponent and supporter of Puerto Rican indie authors who write in English and Spanish. I'm very fond of the people that are in the panel, and it's different levels and different times that I've known these people. Maricel Jimenez I've known for years because we are Puerto Rico Comic Con buddies. She's super cool. Her Adventure in Pixie Piper series is a lot of fun and it means a lot to me. Angelician is one of the two owners and founders of Libros Acon, which is a Puerto Rican company that is dedicated to promote literature, but they're focused mainly on right now on horror, but I'm pretty sure that sci-fi, fantasy, and all that other goodness is going to come out under the Libros Icon. They have No Cierres los Ojos Uno and No Cierres los Ojos Dos, which are horror short story collections in their own right, and I actually have a Spanish horror short story in the second one. And then El Cuco Te Va a Comer is Angel's collection of short stories. It's very good if you read Spanish and you want a slice of Puerto Rican horror because it has that Puerto Rican flavor. I highly recommend it. And David Hernandez rounds out the Puerto Ricans on the panel. And David wrote Outlanders, Malefactor, First of the Fallen, multimedia project because it's not a graphic novel and it's not a novel and it's not a comic. It's occasionally a novel, occasionally a comic, occasionally something with graphic elements to explain a bit. It's an out there concept. I really enjoyed it. Could use a little polish, sure, but man, the brain in this guy. And I actually interviewed him for the blog. Fascinating guy, really nice guy. Our host with the most is Joe Compton because it's always time to go indie now. And Seal Cannon is going to be rounding out, not rounding out the panel. She's going to give us in either marketing tips or indie book recommendations. She always does that for the shows on Go Indie Now, plus all the other stuff that she does, whether it's her books or Fiction Atlas Press or check her out. She's also very lovely. So I'm just excited. It's super Puerto Rican. Other stuff that's happened since the last time we chatted. There is a new book by your scruffy Puerto Rican JD Estrada. Rhymes with the Wicked Nursery. Earlier in the year, very early on in the year or last year, I was having a reading slump. So I read not one, not two, but three nursery rhyme collections, and they were a lot of fun. And they were a bit disturbing, and I was like, I think I can do that. And so I did 80 original nursery rhymes. And that's when this baby was born, and this was a lot of fun. it helped me also get in the groove. This was not by design. The previous release was Ballads of Hope and Joy, which is uplifting poetry, poetic pick-me-up, if you will, or a hug in a book. That's how I describe it also. And then this is worthy of the Addams Family Library. It was a lot of fun. I'll be doing a video and probably reading a bit of this on my channel, but also we'll probably be reading a little bit of this on Sunday. So by all means, swing by. Other stuff that has been going on. I have continued work on several projects that includes the full English version of 2020, which is going to be 2020. And 2020 I released in 2016. It's a bilingual collection that has short stories, essays, and poetry in English and Spanish. So basically, I took everything that was in Spanish, Puerto Rican Spanish, very Puerto Rican Spanish. It was very challenging. I can talk about that when I finally release it. And I translated that into English. And I gave everything like a little overhaul, like a 5-year overhaul. It was due, and I gave a read, and I thought there was a couple of things that I could address in terms of some of the short stories. Some short stories I didn't touch. Several essays I didn't touch. Several poems I didn't touch. But, a couple here and there, I was like, man, I can, and I'm usually not one to do a tweak, but seeing feedback from people. I gave people, the beta readers, the books, and then they were commenting on the English ones. And I was like, the main thing I'm worried about is whether I translated what was in Spanish to English correctly and if it makes sense. And they were like, the English short stories, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, damn, that's a good point. And if someone has a good point, as an author, it's your job to listen. And if it makes sense, and not all of the advice is something that you have to take, but a lot of people had some really good pointers. So I gave it a little tweak. Plus, I wrote a completely new piece for 2020. 2020 had a bilingual poem in the middle. So here I added an extra piece about what it is being bilingual, from my perspective as a Puerto Rican. Just to balance things out and do a little bit of something, since I'm taking out the bilingual poem. There you go. So 2020 is done. I'm tweaking that. I am this far away of finishing the second volume of the Daydreams on the Sherbet Shore. And actually, I wanted to ask you, the first, let me see if I have one handy. Do I have one handy? I'm not gonna edit this out because that's not my style. This is the first collection of the Daydreams on the Sherbet Shore. These are middle grade short stories that I wrote way back when. I'm very fond of this project and what it has evolved into. This began as fantasy in middle grade and just me having fun and whimsical fun. It is still whimsical fun. But it has become a sort of get well card or good intention, sending good intentions to different people. It started because whilst I was writing the first collection, or the first set of short stories, a friend of mine needed surgery. So basically what I did was write a short story which was like a get well card. So instead of a get well card or an email or a voicemail or something, I wrote a short story. Like, I hope your surgery goes well. And then it took a life of its own, and each one has been like, I invite people and I ask them information, like, what's your favorite food, or what's your favorite color, or what's your favorite animals, or stuff like that. And from there, I just run with it and see what happens. It is a very fun project, but I have a proposal for that. I did read it. I had given it to a book club, and I got hit hard with the feedback, but the feedback made sense, and I realized what was the issue with it. It is, if you read my work, if you've read Only Human and The Human Cycle and other stuff, you're gonna get all the references and you're gonna get the full impact. And I didn't know that it was like a complimentary middle grade reader with my writer journey and the stuff that I've published, but that is what it feels like. So the proposal, me doing live readings and y'all giving me feedback on each of the short stories, and I can tweak that and do a re-release of that as we prep for the release of the second volume of Daydreams. So I don't know how that sounds for you. I think it's an interesting concept because out of all my projects, the one that I really would include a lot of feedback from people are the Daydreams, because it is the most, out of all my projects, it's the most communal, because I ask for a lot of information, and one thing is to ask information of the people that I am inviting to Daydream, instead of Dream, Daydream. Another thing is for us to build it. You know, my ideal scenario is that each of the short stories takes a place in the dream world, Daydream, and that each one represents like a quadrant, or that we can start filling in a map. If you've ever played Legend of Mana, as you play that game, the map populates itself, and that's what I had in mind in terms of the concept for the Daydreams, and to write as many as possible. And it's been a hot minute since I wrote, finished, and published new Daydreams, and I think it's time to keep moving that forward and keep populating the map. I might need a cartographer eventually, so if you know one, let me know. So yeah, there's that. Other stuff that I'm working on, the nonfictions, I'm retaking Beyond Human. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, I have been busy, and I'm gonna be busier, and I do have a couple new toys and a couple new ideas and a couple new things that I'm gonna be working on. So let's hope that this is a return to form, and till next time, peace, love, and maki rolls. Tune in this Sunday at 5, this Sunday, September 5th at 12 noon. I'm gonna leave the information for a little bit at the end. I'm gonna leave links to the event. So I had a little glitchy poo there. So yeah, I didn't want to finish the video even with a glitch without saying and wishing you the best. Hope you're doing well. Until next time, peace, love, and maki rolls.